The fall of angels. In the days of old, when the world was young and the veil between the divine and mortal realms was thin, a momentous event occurred that would shape the course of human history. It was during the time of Jared, a descendant of Adam, that the sons of the gods cast their gaze upon the daughters of men, their hearts filled with desire. From the lofty heights of heaven, 200 angels descended to the earthly realm, drawn by an irresistible longing. Upon Mount Hermon, these celestial beings swore a solemn oath, binding themselves to a fateful decision. They took wives from among the daughters of men, an act that would have far-reaching consequences. As these fallen angels walked among humans, they began to share the secrets of the heavens. They taught mankind the mysteries of the cosmos, the arts of magic, and the crafts of civilization. But with this knowledge came corruption, and the earth began to change in ways unforeseen by the Creator. 2. The birth of Noah. Amidst this era of celestial transgression and earthly transformation, a child was born who would become the savior of humankind. In those days, Methuselah, son of the great prophet Enoch, arranged a marriage for his son Lamech. From this union, a remarkable child was brought into the world. The newborn's appearance was nothing short of extraordinary. His body was as white as freshly fallen snow, with a complexion that bore the rosy hue of a blooming rose. His hair was a cascade of pure white, reminiscent of the finest wool. But it was his eyes that truly set him apart. They shone with an otherworldly brilliance, as if capturing the very essence of starlight. The moment the child opened his eyes, the entire house was bathed in a radiant light, as if the sun itself had taken residence within their humble abode. As the midwife held the newborn in her arms, a miracle occurred that would be spoken of for generations to come. The child opened his mouth and began to speak, engaging in conversation with the Lord of Righteousness, his infant voice filled with wisdom beyond mortal comprehension. 3. Lamech's concerns and consultation with Methuselah. Witnessing the birth of his extraordinary son, Lamech was overcome with a mixture of awe and fear. The child's otherworldly appearance and precocious abilities stirred deep concerns within his heart. Unable to reconcile the nature of his offspring with his own mortal lineage, Lamech sought counsel from his father, Methuselah. With trembling voice and troubled mind, Lamech confided in Methuselah, "Father, I have begotten a son unlike any other. He is not of mortal appearance, but resembles the sons of the God of heaven. His nature defies explanation. His eyes shine like the rays of the sun, and his countenance is filled with divine glory. I fear he is not of my seed, but sprung from the angels themselves." Lamech's words were heavy with the weight of his concerns. "I am filled with dread," he continued, "for I believe that in his days a great wonder may be wrought upon the earth. I implore you, Father, seek out Enoch, for he dwells among the angels and may shed light on this mystery. Go to him and learn the truth of this child's nature." Methuselah, sensing the gravity of the situation, knew that only his own father, Enoch, could provide the answers they sought. Without hesitation, he embarked on a perilous journey to the ends of the earth, where Enoch was said to dwell in the company of celestial beings. 4. Enoch's revelation to Methuselah. After a long and arduous journey, Methuselah finally reached the dwelling place of Enoch. As he approached, he called out with a voice filled with urgency and reverence. Enoch, hearing the familiar voice of his son, emerged from his celestial abode. "Here I am, my son," Enoch said, his voice carrying the wisdom of ages. "What great matter has brought you to the ends of the earth?" Methuselah, his heart heavy with the burden of his son's plight, recounted the extraordinary circumstances of his grandson's birth. He described the child's unearthly appearance, his snow-white body, rose-tinted skin, and hair as white as wool. He spoke of the infant's eyes that shone like the sun, illuminating the entire house upon opening. With a trembling voice, he relayed how the newborn had blessed the Lord of Heaven immediately after birth, an act that filled Lamech with both wonder and fear. "My son Lamech is gripped by doubt and uncertainty," Methuselah concluded. "He believes the child resembles the angels of heaven more than any mortal man. I have come to you, Father, seeking the truth behind this miraculous birth." Enoch listened intently, his face betraying no surprise at the extraordinary tale. After a moment of contemplation, he began to speak, his words carrying the weight of divine revelation. "The Lord will indeed do a new thing upon the earth," Enoch declared. "I have foreseen it in a vision. In the generation of my father Jared, some of the angels of heaven transgressed the word of the Lord. They sinned and violated the natural order, uniting themselves with mortal women and begetting children by them." Enoch's voice grew grave as he continued. "These unions produced giants upon the earth, beings of flesh and blood, not of spirit. It is because of this transgression that a great punishment shall befall the earth, cleansing it of all impurity. A great destruction approaches, a deluge that will last for an entire year, washing away the sins of both angels and men." 5. Noah's vision and cry to Enoch. Years passed, and the child born to Lamech grew into a man of extraordinary wisdom and virtue. This man, named Noah, walked in the ways of righteousness, yet he could not ignore the growing corruption that surrounded him. One day, as he contemplated the state of the world, Noah was granted a terrifying vision. In this divine revelation, Noah saw that the earth had begun to sink, as if weighed down by the sins of its inhabitants. He witnessed the approaching destruction, a cataclysm of unimaginable proportions that would reshape the very face of the world. Alarmed by what he had seen, Noah knew he had to seek guidance from the one person who might understand the gravity of the situation: his great-grandfather, Enoch. With determination in his heart, Noah embarked on a perilous journey to the ends of the earth, where Enoch was said to dwell among the angels. As he reached the threshold of the mortal realm, Noah cried out with a voice filled with anguish and urgency. "Hear me, hear me, hear me!" Noah called 3 times, his words echoing across the boundary between earth and heaven. The desperation in his voice was palpable, a reflection of the dire circumstances that had driven him to seek out the wisdom of his ancestor. Enoch, hearing the impassioned plea of his great-grandson, appeared before Noah. "Why have you come to me with such bitterness and weeping?" he asked, his voice filled with concern and compassion. Noah, still trembling from his vision, recounted what he had seen. "The earth is in a state of great distress," he explained. "It trembles and sinks as if the weight of mankind's sins has become too much to bear. I fear that I too may perish along with all of creation if this destruction comes to pass." 6. Enoch's explanation of earth's corruption. Enoch listened intently to Noah's words, his face grave with the knowledge of what was to come. After a moment of silence, he began to speak, his voice carrying the weight of divine revelation. "A command has gone forth from the presence of the Lord," Enoch explained, "concerning those who dwell upon the earth. Their ruin is at hand, for they have learned the secrets of the angels and delved into forbidden knowledge. They have mastered the violence of the Satans and uncovered powers that were meant to remain hidden." Enoch's words painted a picture of a world steeped in corruption and dark arts. "Mankind has embraced sorcery and witchcraft," he continued. "They have learned to create molten images and have unearthed the secrets of the earth itself. They now know how silver is produced from dust and how soft metals originate in the depths of the world." The prophet's voice grew even more somber as he revealed the extent of humanity's transgressions. "They have discovered that lead and tin are not merely produced from the earth like other metals. There is a fountain that produces them, guarded by a preeminent angel. By tapping into these secrets, mankind has upset the delicate balance of creation." Enoch then shared the words of the Lord of Spirits, which he had received in a divine vision. "Because of their unrighteousness," he said, "their judgment has been determined and shall not be withheld any longer. The sorceries they have sought and learned will be their undoing. The earth and all its inhabitants shall be destroyed." The gravity of the situation weighed heavily upon Noah as Enoch continued his explanation. "They have no place of repentance," the prophet declared, "for they have revealed what was meant to be hidden, and in doing so, they have damned themselves. The secrets they have uncovered were not meant for mortal minds, and the power they have gained will be their downfall." 7. God's message to Noah. As Noah stood before Enoch, absorbing the grave news of the impending destruction, a divine message was imparted to him. The voice of God, clear and resonant, spoke directly to Noah's heart, filling him with a mixture of awe and responsibility. "Noah," the voice began, "your lot has come up before me. It is a lot without blame, a lot of love and uprightness. Even as the world around you succumbs to corruption, you have remained steadfast in your faith and virtue. The divine message continued, revealing the crucial role Noah was to play in the preservation of life on earth. Now the angels are working, preparing for the great cleansing that is to come. But when they have completed their task, I will place my hand upon the earth and preserve a remnant. From this remnant shall come forth the seed of new life, ensuring that the earth will not remain without inhabitants. God's words were filled with both promise and purpose, outlining the covenant he was establishing with Noah. I will establish your seed before me forever and ever, the voice declared. I will spread abroad those who dwell with you, and your lineage shall not be unfruitful upon the face of the earth. Instead, it shall be blessed and multiply in my name. The Almighty then spoke of the fate that awaited the fallen angels who had led humanity astray. Those angels who have shown unrighteousness shall be imprisoned in the burning valley, God proclaimed. This is the same valley that Enoch has shown you in visions. There, amidst mountains of gold, silver, iron, soft metal, and tin, they will face their punishment. Noah listened in awe as God described the convulsions that would rack the earth, the churning of waters, and the rise of sulfurous fumes from fiery molten metal. The valley of the fallen angels would burn beneath the land, a testament to the consequences of their transgressions. 8. The punishment of fallen angels. As the divine message continued, Noah was granted a vision of the judgment that awaited the fallen angels. He saw a great convulsion taking place in a hidden valley, where waters churned violently and the air was filled with the acrid smell of sulfur. This was to be the place of punishment for those celestial beings who had led humanity astray. Noah witnessed streams of fire flowing through the valleys, their heat intense enough to melt the very rocks. These rivers of flame were destined to be the instruments of punishment for the fallen angels, a fitting retribution for the fiery passions that had led them to transgress against the divine order. However, the waters of this place held a dual nature. While they served as a means of punishment for the fallen angels, they would also bring a form of twisted benefit to the corrupt rulers of the earth. Noah saw visions of kings, mighty warriors, and exalted individuals seeking out these waters for their supposed healing properties. These waters will bring healing to their bodies, the divine voice explained, but punishment to their spirits. For their spirits are full of lust and wickedness, leading them to be punished even as their flesh finds temporary relief. The vision showed Noah how these corrupt individuals, despite experiencing daily torment, would continue to deny the Lord of Spirits. Their arrogance would persist, refusing to acknowledge the name of the divine, even in the face of clear judgment. As the burning of their bodies intensifies, the voice continued, a corresponding change will occur in their spirits. This transformation will last for all eternity, for before the Lord of Spirits, none shall utter an idle word without consequence. 9. The Book of Parables and Secrets. As the visions of judgment faded, Noah found himself once again in the presence of his great-grandfather, Enoch. The ancient prophet's eyes shone with a mixture of sorrow and wisdom, reflecting the weight of the knowledge he was about to impart. "My beloved great-grandson," Enoch began, his voice soft yet filled with authority, "the time has come for me to share with you the teachings of all the secrets contained within the Book of Parables. This compilation of divine wisdom was entrusted to me by the Lord of Spirits, and now I pass it on to you." Enoch produced an ancient tome, its pages seemingly glowing with an otherworldly light. As he opened the book, Noah felt a rush of energy, as if the very secrets of creation were about to be revealed to him. Within these pages, Enoch explained, you will find profound insights into the nature of the universe, the hierarchy of angels, and the ultimate destiny of mankind. The Book of Parables contains 3 distinct sections, each revealing a different aspect of divine truth. Noah listened intently as Enoch began to share the contents of the first parable. It spoke of the coming judgment of the righteous and the wicked, describing in vivid detail the day when the elect one would sit upon the throne of glory and separate the just from the unjust. The second parable, Enoch revealed, focused on the secrets of the heavens. It described the ordering of the stars, the mysteries of the lightning and thunder, and the hidden chambers of the wind and hail. Noah marveled at the intricate descriptions of celestial phenomena, realizing that this knowledge far surpassed anything known to mortal man. As Enoch turned to the third and final parable, his voice took on a tone of even greater reverence. "This last section," he said, "speaks of the blessedness of the righteous and the judgment of the wicked. It reveals the coming of the Son of Man, who will bring justice and peace to the world." 10. The judgment of angels. As Enoch concluded his teachings from the book of parables, the air around them seemed to thicken with an otherworldly presence. Noah watched in awe as two celestial beings materialized before them, the archangels Michael and Raphael. Michael, his countenance radiating divine authority, spoke first. "The power of the Spirit transports me," he declared, his voice resonating with celestial power. "I tremble at the severity of the judgment of the secrets, the judgment of the angels. Who among us can endure such a severe judgment, before which even the mightiest beings melt away?" Raphael, his form shimmering with ethereal light, responded with equal gravity. "Indeed, brother, who is not moved by this word of judgment? Whose heart is not softened, whose very being is not troubled by what has been decreed upon those who have led others astray?" As Noah listened, he realized he was witnessing a divine council where the fate of the fallen angels was being discussed. Michael turned to address the Lord of Spirits directly, his words carrying the weight of cosmic justice. "Lord of Spirits," Michael proclaimed, his voice echoing across the celestial realm, "I will not advocate for them under your watchful eye. For you, Lord of Spirits, are justly angered by their arrogance. They have acted as if they were equal to you, the Creator of all things. Therefore, all that is hidden shall come upon them as judgment, enduring forever and ever." Michael's declaration sent ripples through the fabric of reality itself. Noah felt the weight of each word, understanding that he was witnessing a moment that would shape the destiny of both heaven and earth. "Neither angel nor man shall share their portion," Michael continued, his voice filled with divine certainty. "Alone they shall bear the burden of their eternal judgment, for their transgressions have upset the very balance of creation." As the archangel's words faded, Noah saw a vision of the fallen angels, their once radiant forms now twisted by the weight of their sins. He watched as they were bound with chains of darkness, cast into a place of eternal torment. The sight filled him with a mixture of sorrow and awe, understanding the terrible price of rebellion against the divine order. Raphael then stepped forward, his presence bringing a sense of solemn finality to the proceedings. "From this day forth," he proclaimed, "these fallen angels shall instill terror and trembling in those who dwell on the earth. For they have revealed forbidden secrets, sharing knowledge that was never meant for mortal minds." The archangel then began to recite a list of names, each one resonating with power and carrying the weight of divine judgment. "Hear now the names of those who have transgressed," Raphael intoned. "Samjaza, the first among them; Artakifa, the second; Armin, Kokobeldra, Rumjal, Danjal, Nikal, Barakel, Azazel." As the list continued, Noah felt each name etching itself into his memory, understanding that these were the leaders of the fallen, the ones who had brought corruption to the earth. The recitation concluded with the 20th name, Rumael, and the 21st, Azazel, marking the full count of those who had rebelled against heaven. Raphael's voice took on a tone of grim finality as he continued. "These are the chiefs of their angels, the leaders over hundreds, 50s, and 10s. They have led astray both mortal and immortal, bringing ruin upon the earth." The archangel then delved deeper into the specific transgressions of each fallen angel, revealing the extent of their corruption. Jachan, the first, led the sons of God astray, bringing them down to earth and seducing them through the daughters of men. Asbiel, the second, gave evil counsel to the holy sons of God, convincing them to defile their bodies with mortal women. Gadriel, the third, showed the children of men all the weapons of death, teaching them the arts of war and destruction. Noah listened in horror as Raphael continued, describing how Penemu had taught mankind the secrets of wisdom and writing, leading many to sin from eternity to eternity. Kazdeja had revealed the wicked smitings of spirits and demons, causing untold suffering among mortals. As the litany of transgressions came to an end, Michael stepped forward once more, his countenance grave yet tinged with hope. "Despite the darkness that has befallen the earth," he declared, "there remains a spark of divine light. Noah, son of Lamech, you have been chosen to carry this light forward." The archangel's gaze fell upon Noah, filling him with a sense of purpose and destiny. "From your seed shall come a fountain of the righteous and holy, without number, enduring forever. Though the waters of judgment will soon cover the earth, you and your family shall be preserved, becoming the progenitors of a new age." As the vision began to fade, Noah found himself once again standing before his great-grandfather Enoch. The ancient prophet's eyes were filled with a mixture of sorrow and hope, reflecting the weight of the knowledge that had been imparted. "My son," Enoch said softly, "you now bear the burden of this sacred knowledge. The fate of humanity rests upon your shoulders. Go forth and prepare, for the days of judgment are at hand. Yet even in the midst of destruction, remember that you carry within you the seed of a new beginning." Noah bowed his head, overwhelmed by the magnitude of his calling. As he turned to leave, ready to face the monumental task that lay before him, Enoch's final words echoed in his mind. "Remember, Noah, that even in the darkest of times, the light of the divine continues to shine. Though the world may be cleansed by flood, it is through you that hope shall endure. Go now, and may the blessings of the Lord of Spirits be upon you and your descendants forevermore." With these words resonating in his heart, Noah departed from the presence of Enoch and the celestial beings. He returned to the world of mortals, carrying with him the knowledge of past transgressions and the promise of future redemption. The task before him was great, but Noah was resolved to fulfill his divine purpose, becoming the ark through which humanity would weather the coming storm and emerge into a new dawn. As we conclude our journey through Noah's story, let's reflect on two of its most powerful themes: redemption and forgiveness. These twin forces of healing and renewal lie at the heart of not just Noah's tale, but our own personal narratives as well. In Noah's time, the world had fallen into corruption. Humanity had strayed so far from righteousness that the Creator decided to wash the slate clean. Yet, in this tale of divine judgment, we find a profound message of hope and second chances. Noah's Ark wasn't just a vessel of wood and pitch. It was a floating testament to the possibility of redemption. Through Noah and his family, humanity was given another chance, an opportunity to start anew. This speaks to a fundamental truth. No matter how far we may fall, the potential for redemption always exists. Think about your own life for a moment. Have there been times when you've made mistakes, when you've strayed from your own path of righteousness? We all have. But like the receding floodwaters in Noah's story, these moments don't have to define us. They can be the very catalyst for our personal growth and redemption. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door to redemption. In Noah's story, we see divine forgiveness on a grand scale, a covenant made with humanity, promising never again to destroy the world by flood. But forgiveness isn't just a divine act, it's a profoundly human one too. When we forgive others, we free not just them, but ourselves as well. We release the burden of anger and resentment, making room for understanding and compassion. And when we forgive ourselves, often the hardest act of forgiveness, we open the door to personal growth and transformation. Tonight, as you reflect on this ancient story, I invite you to consider the role of redemption and forgiveness in your own life. Is there someone you need to forgive? Perhaps it's a family member who hurt you, a friend who let you down, or a colleague who betrayed your trust. Remember, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or condoning harmful actions. It means choosing to release the pain and move forward. Or maybe you're carrying the weight of your own past mistakes. Are you ready to forgive yourself, to acknowledge your missteps, learn from them, and then let them go? Like Noah emerging from the ark onto a world washed clean, you too can step into a new chapter of your life. Redemption and forgiveness aren't one-time events. They're ongoing processes. Each day, we have the opportunity to seek redemption for our mistakes and to offer forgiveness to others. In doing so, we don't just heal our own hearts, we contribute to healing the world around us. Let Noah's story remind you that no matter how turbulent life's waters may become, there's always the possibility of calmer seas ahead. Redemption is possible. Forgiveness is within reach. And with each act of forgiving and seeking forgiveness, we build our own arcs, sanctuaries of peace and renewal in the midst of life's storms. So as you go forward from this moment, carry with you the courage to seek redemption when you falter, and the compassion to offer forgiveness when others stumble. For in doing so, you're not just echoing an ancient tale, you're writing your own story of renewal and hope, one day at a time. And so concludes our journey through the Book of Noah, a tale of divine intervention, celestial rebellion, and human destiny. We've explored the miraculous circumstances of Noah's birth, the fall of the angels, and the impending judgment of the Creator. This ancient narrative isn't merely a relic of the past, but a timeless story that continues to resonate with themes of faith, redemption, and hope in the face of overwhelming adversity. As we reflect on Noah's calling and the monumental task set before him, we're reminded of the potential for greatness that resides within each of us. Though we may not be called to build an ark, we all face our own floods, challenges that test our resolve and faith. Now, I'd like to hear from you, our valued viewers. What aspects of Noah's story resonated with you the most? Did you gain any new insights into this ancient tale? Your thoughts and interpretations are invaluable in keeping these timeless stories alive and relevant. If you enjoyed this video and would like to delve deeper into more biblical narratives and ancient mysteries, please consider subscribing to our channel. By hitting that subscribe button, you'll ensure you never miss our latest uploads. We have a wealth of fascinating content planned, exploring the hidden depths of ancient texts and the profound wisdom they contain. Don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts on the Book of Noah. Your engagement helps foster a community of curious minds and spiritual seekers, all exploring these profound stories together. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through time and spirit. Until our next adventure into the realms of ancient wisdom, may you find inspiration in the courage of Noah and the enduring promise of new beginnings.